Alphabet Attributes!
Good morning, Team Sunday School, and welcome to the first of our alphabet attributes, where we find out what God is like. So today we're doing A is for Almighty. Now, if you're in little Sunday School, can you say in a big voice, God is Almighty? Brilliant. Good job. Now then, God is very big and very powerful. Can we measure how big God is? No, we can't. Now, can you think of something in this world that shows how powerful God is? How about the sea? You see it in the picture above me. Think of the sea with the crashing waves that can knock you over or even sink a mighty ship. And that shows us something of how powerful God is. Perhaps later when we finish, you could go and sing, "Our God is so big, so strong, and so mighty," to remind yourself of how big God is. Now, God isn't just mighty, he is almighty. Just like we can't measure how big God is, we can't measure how much power he has because he has it all. His power is limitless. He is almighty. In the Old Testament, God spoke to the prophet Isaiah and got him to write down that a baby would be born who would be called Mighty God. Can anybody think who that baby could be? Jesus, of course. Jesus is God, isn't he? He is God with us. Just like we sing in church, totally God and totally man. So Jesus is that mighty God. So when we think about Jesus and we look at Jesus, that shows us exactly what God is like. So can you think of some time when Jesus showed his power over the sea, just like in our picture? Can you remember the story of the storm that was stilled? The last time we met together, Little Sunday School were being taught by Julia and they were looking at this very story. And you remember when Jesus and his disciples were in the boat and there was an enormous storm and it was frightening and it was scary and Jesus was fast asleep. The disciples woke Jesus up and he said 3 words. He said, "Quiet, be still." And what happened? Just like that, the storm stopped. That showed how powerful Jesus is. And do you know what the disciples said? The disciples said, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Who is Jesus? He's God, of course, Almighty God. Now, there were lots of times when Jesus was alive on the earth when people thought he couldn't be Almighty God because they couldn't see his power. And we've just had Easter, haven't we? You remember when Jesus was dying on the cross, everyone, the crowds and the soldiers and even the criminals next to him said, if you were God, you would have the power to come down from the cross and not die. They thought that Jesus didn't have the power and that's why he stayed on the cross. But the opposite is true, because on that day, God showed his mind-blowing power when Jesus died. Because when Jesus died, he broke the power of sin and death over us. By staying on the cross, he made a way for us to be forever friends with God. And that was the most powerful thing ever. And did that daring rescue plan work? Yes, we know that because Jesus didn't stay dead. In another show of power, he rose victorious from the grave and went back to heaven. Now, there are times today that we can sometimes be just like the crowd, just like the soldiers, and think that God can't be almighty because we cannot see his power, because he doesn't use his power like we would want him to. We can think, is God really bigger and more powerful than coronavirus? Could he really put all the bad things right? What is God doing? Is he really almighty? And then we need to remember what the thing is that God most of all likes to do with his power. The thing that is most important to him. He saves people and he makes them more like Jesus. So today, when you're maybe thinking of what to do, you can remember that right now what God is doing, what Almighty God is doing, is saving people and making them more like Jesus. So has he rescued you? Is he making you more like Jesus? Is he making you more patient as Jesus when he died on the cross? And how can we show other people that Jesus is our Almighty God? Well, we can show them by trusting him when we can't see what he's up to. And we can show them by telling them how they can be saved too and how they can be made more like Jesus. So that is A for Almighty. God is Almighty. Okay, bye-bye for now.